Say hello to Steve and Joe. Can you spot the difference? Steve, on the left, is for vaccination, whereas Joe, on the right, is against vaccination. Hello, I'm Andrea Carey, and today I will be discussing vaccination. I plan on discussing the social views and things that have affected them, ingredients and the specific purposes of these ingredients, and lastly I will discuss the importance of vaccines. Currently, there are two views for vaccination: people who are for and people who are against. Steve here believes that vaccinations are scientifically proven to help prevent disease and there is a low risk with vaccination. He believes that they aid in herd immunity and that mandatory vaccination is beneficial for the population. Joe, on the other hand, is against vaccination. He believes they contain harmful chemicals, some of which can cause autism, and that mandatory vaccination is unconstitutional. The anti-vaccination movement did not start until after the 1900s, and really did not gain traction until the 1960s when the Vaccination Assistance Act came into place. By the 1980s, all 50 states required vaccination for children enrolled in schools. Today, this is still a widely discussed topic, especially in terms of whether it is constitutional to force parents to vaccinate their children. Frequently discussed is Andrew Wakefield's study that found that the MMR vaccine is connected to autism. This is very outdated thinking, however, because Andrew Wakefield's paper was retracted in 2010. Why, might you ask? Well, there are many reasons, as Brian Deere states, but mostly he had fraudulent data contained within his paper that he had made up, so why would he do this? The motivation of Andrew Wakefield was purely money. He was paid to assist Richard Barr in creating a study that would support his lawsuit. And overall, he was making $230 per hour and grossed almost $700,000 total for doing that. With his study being majorly publicized, it has caused parents to question ingredients within vaccines. In the years following his publication, many have chosen not to vaccinate. This has caused a resurgence of diseases that were thought to have been eradicated, such as the measles. So what really is a vaccine? Vaccines essentially contain traces of the virus or bacteria they are vaccinating against, preservatives and stabilizers to stop the vaccine from changing over time, and enhancers to increase the effectiveness. Many people believe that too much aluminum is used and that it will build up or cause health problems in the future. Aluminum serves the purpose as an adjuvant, meaning it improves the immune response so that your body can build antibodies to it. Aluminum is contained within almost everything we eat and drink and is the third most abundant element on the earth. Because it is typically found within the body at high quantities, the small amount given in a vaccination is not worrisome. The kidneys are able to filter it out at a fast rate, which denies it the ability to build up over time. Formaldehyde is something that many associate with dead organisms because it is a well-known preservative. Also, at high enough amounts, it can have cancerous properties. The purpose of this is to preserve the virus or bacteria during manufacturing. Most is removed during processing, but traces do remain within the final product. Studies have found that the amount of formaldehyde in vaccinations is no greater than 0.1 milligram. Formaldehyde actually occurs naturally within the body and is used for metabolic purposes. Researchers found that in infants, blood contains 10 times the amount of formaldehyde that is within a vaccine. They also found that animals with 600 times this amount showed no cancerous properties or side effects from the amount of formaldehyde. Thimerosal is another controversial ingredient. Many worry because it contains mercury, which can cause damage to the nervous system. The purpose of thimerosal is that it acts as an antifungal and antibacterial agent to prevent contamination. Like aluminum, mercury is in everything we eat and drink. Studies have found that infant formula and breast milk have higher concentrations of mercury than vaccines have. Not only does it contain more, but it is harder to metabolize and builds up in the body, whereas the mercury in vaccines is released at a faster rate and almost instantly metabolized. Overall, I would like to review some of the points that I have made in this presentation. Vaccines do not cause autism, and the studies that have shown that it does have had fraudulent data in them. People use alcohol, cigarettes, recreational drugs, and prescription drugs every day, which are more toxic than anything that a vaccination has. Yet people think that vaccinations are more toxic, whereas they are the things that are helping us. There's relatively low exposure to harmful chemicals, and the prevention of disease is especially helpful in the young, old, and immunocompromised that cannot get vaccinated because they are too young or their immune systems are not strong enough. So the overall point of this presentation is don't be Joe. Get vaccinated. Not only is it important to be informed, but it is important to inform others so that we don't have epidemics of diseases that were previously eradicated. If you have any questions, please refer to these sources. Thanks for watching!